Welcome to my world, where you will experience an atmosphere of love, relevant subjects, and motivation. So let's talk about things that matter. What matters to you matters to me. Have you ever asked yourself if you're truly over something? Or maybe you've convinced yourself that you were healed of something and you found out later that, maybe I'm not over this as I thought I was. Maybe I thought I was healed from something that when it came up to the surface or when that area of my life received a trigger, maybe I'm not over it. If you're that person, this episode is for you today. We're continuing our series on the art of healing, and today we're going to talk about, am I healed or healing? And you're watching the Brother Henry and You show, and I have the honor of being your host. I appreciate all of you for watching this, and I've said this quite a few times. Share this program with your friends. I really believe they're going to be challenged and inspired by today's message. Pain is unavoidable. Pain comes in various forms, but the reality is every person will experience pain in their life. All of us will. I said this in the previous episode. You can bury that pain, you can hide that pain, but the only way you can receive healing in that area where you've experienced pain is by exposing that pain. So it's unavoidable. Your pain may consist of, but not limited to, a divorce, a breakup, losing a job, betrayal, sickness, failures. But when you look at it, there's really no way around the pain. It's almost like you have to go through it. How many understand what I'm saying? You can't go around pain. You can't skip over it. You can't go under it. You have to go through it. Have you ever heard people use that phrase, I'm going through pain? Pain is something that you go through. It's not something that you go around. It's something that you go through. Some of us don't know how to go through it. And that's why I'm doing this series, The Art of Healing, to help you to go through that pain. I have discovered that the only exit for pain is to process through that pain. And to tell you the truth, it is definitely a process. You may not think it is, but it is. It's a process. Nobody gets over pain overnight. No matter what pain you've experienced, you know what you've experienced, you know what you've been through, you know what you encountered. But I promise you, if you experience pain in your life, you're not going to wake up tomorrow, oh, I'm over it. I'm over it. It just doesn't work that way. It's a process. Sometimes we don't want to deal with our pain, so we sweep it under the rug. And when you do this, I can rest assure you that this may be a temporary solution, but keep in mind that the pain will eventually come back to the surface. Are you one that sweeps your pain under the rug? I would hope not. That may be a temporary solution, but the reality is that what you hide will come back to the surface. What happens when a wound goes untreated? It gets worse. I mean, to even start the healing process will require my participation. Do I even want to be healed from the pain that I've experienced? Do I even want help in the areas where I've experienced pain the most? It will require not only my participation, it will require your participation. So how does it? It involves my participation. Number one, you have to have the desire or willingness for treatment. I gave an illustration in the last episode about, let's say you got a spider bite. You can let it stay like that, but it's going to get worse if you don't go get treatment. You have to say within yourself, consciously, this is a wound. I need to get help, because if I don't, this spider bite is going to get worse. You have to be willing to do that. No matter what pain you've experienced in your life, no matter what you had to encounter, you have to make the decision. Mama can't do it for you. Daddy can't do it for you. Nobody, your friends can't. Nobody can do it for you. You have to make the conscious decision that I want to be healed. You have to be willing to do that. That's what I mean about your participation. You have to take part in this. Healing always requires you first. Nobody can make that decision for you. Number 2, you have to be willing to unbury the layers of pain to create a solution. Sometimes your pain is right here. Let's say like this is your pain. Your pain is right here. And what many people don't understand is that even though your pain may be right here, there may be layers of pain that's under that. You have to unbury all of that to eventually get to the ultimate pain and heartbreak. It's just like a person who's went through multiple divorces. Let's use that for an example, like multiple divorces. Here go divorce, and here go all the pain under here that led to that. There's a cycle going on. There's a pattern. There's a reason why you've been divorced many times. I'm speaking from experience. But until you get down beneath the divorce, all those divorces, and find out why is this happening? Why have I keep finding myself in this situation? Why am I experiencing? There's a reason why these things happen. This is the source, but this is what happens under it. There's always something that's going on under the pain that you're experiencing. You have to unbury that to eventually get to a solution for that pain that you're experiencing. I know what I'm talking about because I've been there. I've experienced it. Pain always starts right there, but there's always other parts and layers to that pain that you've experienced. You just can't deal with the pain. You need to deal with the layers of pain that's associated with your ultimate pain. If you are in a painful situation, it's okay to say, I need help. Sometimes the prideful side of us don't want to admit that. Who, me? I don't need help. Well, if you feel like you don't need help, maybe you don't need help. But if you're truly going through a painful situation, if you truly want to be healed, complete wholeness from that pain, you have to say, I need help. And what motivates me is that I know that I am not the only one that's going through a painful time or a painful situation or difficult times. And my friend, you that are watching today, you're not the only one that's going through painful situations. I find that comforting. That when I see other people going through a hard time, I've been there. I've been there. We've all been there. And if you have been there, and maybe you've been healed from something, sometimes it helps to talk about your story. Because they may be going through the very thing that you came out of. So, did you know that? You are very far from being alone. And you're definitely not by yourself. Sometimes it's good to reflect back on the pain that we previously experienced or went through, and even share your experience. That's important. Let's say you went through a breakup. You was in a healthy relationship and all of a sudden you went through a breakup. Well, there may be somebody else that may have went through that, and you could say, hey, I went through that a month ago. I went through that weeks ago. Can I share my story with you? Let's say a loss of a loved one. Maybe you've been through that. Maybe you've gotten over it or whatever. You may see somebody else that may be going through something similar. You can go to them, motivate them. Hey, I've been there. Let me tell you how I got through that pain and that heartbreak. Life hurts. Life sometimes sucks. I'm just going to be honest. It does. Pain hurts. And there will be those who will not understand the depths of pain that you're going through, but you have to be okay with that. Everybody's not going to understand the depths of pain that you're experiencing. And it's not for them to understand. Some people are not trying to understand. Pain is a deep wound. And no matter what pain you're going through today, do not deny it. Do not suppress it or even ignore it. We have to have the courage to deal with it. Sometimes when we face challenges in our life, we become rather hard on ourselves. I'll raise my hand to that because I've done it. I still do it from time to time. When we go through life circumstances and challenges in life, we get very hard on ourselves. But when I find myself in this phase of life, I practice three things. Number one, I'm learning. It's a process now. I'm learning to process the moment. I'm learning to process the moment. Sometimes it's hard to really come to terms with what happened to you. But I'm learning how to live in the moment and slowly process what happened to me. Don't worry about tomorrow. Learn how to live in the moment. Process the moment. Number two, connect with a support group. That's very helpful. I'm sure there are many support groups on Facebook. Maybe that's a friend. Maybe that's a community. Maybe that's church. It doesn't matter how you do it. Connect with a support group. Find a therapist. Find somebody to talk to about your pain. And the last thing that helps me, believe it or not, is isolation. Separating yourself to detox and clear your mind. Because this right here needs to be cleared. All of it. It needs to be cleared. Isolating yourself is not always a bad thing. It can be. It depends on how you're going about doing it. I isolate myself to detox and clear my mind. It just means that you need space. Sometimes you have to do that. Whether it's with a loved one or a friend. Sometimes it means getting off Facebook a few days. Sometimes it means shutting everybody down. I hate to say that, but it's true. I do it at times. And just say, hey, I need space to heal. Because when you have all this outside noise and drama and all the stuff that's going on the news and all, sometimes that can affect your healing process. But you need to detox. You need a cleansing. It starts right here. It starts right here. You need a cleansing, detox. You need space to heal. Even though we know that pain has a purpose, life circumstances can be overwhelming. It can be difficult tasks, but it can be very hard to see the good in your pain. In some cases, this sounds nonsensical. How can I see the good in my pain? In some people's mind, they're like, that don't even make sense. I can't see the good in my pain. But there is a purpose in your pain. Your pain comes with a powerful testimony. Your pain has a powerful story. Will you have the courage to confront it? Will you have the courage to deal with it? Why? so you can heal. And once you're healed, you can help somebody else. If you have agreed to be healed, this is where your journey begins today, my friend. On the path of healing, it may be a rocky road, but you are strong and resilient. Can we repeat that together? Say, I am strong and I am resilient. You are. You're stronger than you realize. And can I be honest with you? It's also important to know the distinction between heal and healing. Many times you find yourself thinking that you were healed of something when you were not. And I get it. It's a validation thing. Many of us have done it. And I'm going to talk about that here in a few seconds. Do yourself a favor. Stop claiming you're healed when you're not healed. You are healing. It's okay to admit that you're not over something or a situation. You will know you're fully healed when that pain, watch this, no longer becomes your identity. Can I say it again? You will know that you're healed when that pain no longer becomes your identity. It no longer becomes the central focus or theme of your life. Wow. I wish somebody would have told me that even 2 or 3 years ago. And you can tell when somebody is healing, even though they may claim that they're healed, but you can tell when somebody is healing because when they speak, it comes out of a heart of bitterness and hatred. You can tell they're really not over it. Let's say a woman, for example, who went through multiple relationships and abuse. It's okay that you want to raise an awareness about that. I'm all for that. And those that know me knows I'm a voice for the victims. I've been in similar situations myself. But let's say that lady or man, like that's all they talk about. I've been abused and they did this to me and they did that to me and this is how I was hurt. This is the pain that they caused and they did such and such and they did this and they did that. What happens is that now you're speaking from a place of hurt instead of a place of being healed. Do you understand what I'm saying? The abuse has become the central focus and theme of your life. That abuse has become your identity. And you've lost yourself based on your past experiences and the abuse that happens to you. So that's why you talk about it. Now, I get it. If you want to talk about it from a place of wholeness, to raise awareness, talking about the same thing over and over again, there's something that's you're not over. You may not admit that, but you're truly not over something. That's okay. But you have to admit that. You have to say, I'm not over this yet. I'm still healing. So sometimes when you hear those responses all the time, or people being repetitive about certain pain that they've experienced, while alone they say they're healed from it, sometimes they're really not healed, they're healing, and they don't want to come to terms with it. They don't want to be honest about the situation and themselves, and they do not want to say, hey, yes, I did go through that, but I'm not over it yet. I'm still hurting. I'm trying to help y'all be honest today. Because I've had to do it. I'm still hurting. I'm still going through pain. I'm not over it yet. I don't know if I'll ever get over what happened to me. But I just need to let you know that this is where I'm at. Do me a favor today. Take a second to look at your wounds. What does it look like? Do you know the difference? Are you sure that you're healed or healing? Sometimes we have to be careful because we may think we're helping people when we're actually hurting people. We have to be very, very extreme We have to be very, very careful. I don't know about you, but I want to speak from a place of wholeness. I want to speak from a place where I can say, I've been fully healed in that area. Let me help you. But if there's something that you're truly not over, if you're still healing in certain areas, hopefully you'll understand the distinction between the two. Are you healed or are you healing?
Hi, if you like what you've seen today, be sure to connect with Brother Henry at www.facebook.com/The Brother Henry and You Show. And also be sure to check out and subscribe to his YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/Henry Harris 100. We hope that this has been a blessing to you, and we hope to hear from you soon. Keep watching, because what matters to you matters to Brother Henry.